Hey everybody, it's Wednesday night. This is Dr. Kelly coming to you live like we do every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. And I want to thank you for joining me tonight. I appreciate that. Now, tonight I have a little microphone on, so if I'm too loud, I want you to let me know. Please let me know that you can hear me well as well. So let's get started. It's been amazing. I posted a couple of times, hey Emily, that we're going to talk about stress tonight, right? Because stress is a big word. It's a big deal and it affects so many people and it affects your health all the time. Hey Jennifer, hi Tim and Emily, thanks for joining and thanks for the feedback on the sound. Appreciate that. So now I can move around a little bit easier and know that you can always be hearing me. So hi Holly, good, thanks for the feedback as well. So tonight we're going to talk about stress. Hey Michelle, and it impacts your health like nothing else, okay? We talk about so many different things that can alter your health. Hi Matt, nice to see you joining us tonight. Hi Carrie and Lisa, good, thank you. You guys can all hear me well. I appreciate that. Thanks for letting me know. Don't forget to give likes, to do lots of shares, because I know that this issue affects so many more people than people give credit for. Okay, so we're going to talk about some stories. I'm going to talk about how we know that stress is making you sick, how you know it's making you sick, and some things that you can do about it as well. Okay, so remember, I'm always going to try to answer your questions as you're asking them if I can. So please ask them whenever you're thinking of something or if I need to explain something a little bit better. And again, thanks for being here. And hi, Lisa. Hi, Cindy. Thanks for joining. So if you know that you're stressed out, what are you going to do about it, right? So do you know if stress is making you sick? I'll tell you that it is. Okay, we talk about a lot of different things that make you sick. The food that you put into your body, your environment. So there can be toxins and molds and, chemicals and metals and all those types of things. Hey, Annie, nice to see you. All those things can be making you sick. But the thing that the medical profession has ignored for many, 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 many years, or at least never gave it any credit that it makes people sick, is stress. And now when I'm talking about stress, there's all different kinds of stress. Okay, it's not just, ooh, I feel stressed, because lots of times I can meet people and they're like, well, I'm not, I don't feel that stressed, but do you worry a lot? Is there a lot of mental stress? Do you have a lot of stress at work? Is it a lot of emotional stress? Think about how absolutely exhausting emotional stress is. When something bad happens to someone close in your family, when somebody dies in your family, when there's been a breakup or a divorce or something like that that's very, very emotional, it completely wipes you out. So that affects your health. I mean, think about this. Think about ever have a gut feeling? Okay, so a gut feeling is telling you maybe you're mentally thinking about something, you're worrying about something, you're stressing out about something, and you feel it in your gut. Well, that's kind of weird. Why would you feel it in your gut? Well, your gut gets hit by the stress first and the most, and you can actually feel it quivering or getting sick to your stomach or having nausea or something like that. That's one easy example that we can all relate to of how, wow, my mental stress is hitting me in my belly. Okay, so I want you to recognize that it's mental stress, it's emotional stress. It can be physical stress, so pain, right? Or like endurance athletes or people who put their bodies through a big demand. Maybe your work is very physically demanding. That's a stress. Okay, so stress is all different sorts. And look at this last one that I have on there. What if it's made up stress? That kind of fits that category for those of you who, hi Diane and Kimmy and Kara, who worry, and you worry about things that are never, ever going to happen, but you get stressed out from it, right? And so what we need to talk about next, hey Jeffrey, is when you are feeling stressed, when you are stressing yourself out, when you have physically stressed your body out, okay, what happens to your body? That's where we want to go next, right? Because it can mess up your hormones. It can mess up your energy levels. It can make you get sick all the time. Like you're the person who gets every single cold that comes through your office or your work. I bet you it's related to stress. So I want you to start thinking about stress just a little bit differently. Or maybe actually, I just want you to start thinking about stress as a reason that you're sick, or why are you not as healthy as you think you should be, or that you want to be. Okay, so your stress organ. We actually have an organ inside our bodies which is responsible for dealing with stress. Now, everyone should be familiar with the fight or flight phenomenon, okay? We learn about that in biology going through high school, right? So imagine this. Imagine that you are taking a walk through the woods, and that's a nice, relaxing thing. You're just enjoying nature, but you come across a bear, and this bear views you as the enemy. So this bear starts to chase you. Oh my God, you are going to be stressed to the max, right? And you're going to turn around and you're going to start running, and you are going to run faster than you have ever run in your life. Maybe you could never run before, and now you will be able to run. And you're going to climb up a tree. Doesn't matter if this tree has limbs or not. You are going to be able to climb up this tree and do a miraculous thing because you are going to save your own life. That's fight or flight. Fight or flight means hormones go through the roof. You get an adrenaline rush. You get cortisol, which is a steroid, rushing through your veins so that you can save your life. Okay, your adrenal glands, which are on top of your kidneys, okay, they're like little peanuts, about the size of peanuts. They are responsible for doing that, getting you through fight or flight, giving you that rush of all of those hormones so that you can survive something life-threatening. That's the way our bodies were designed, okay? I hope that makes sense. Now, what's supposed to happen next is the bear gets bored with you. You're up in the tree. He's not coming up after you, and he walks away. So now all of your hormones come crashing down, back down to normal, okay? That's fight or flight. That's what's supposed to happen. Now think about, are you stressed every day? Are you stressed every day that you go to your job? Does your family stress you out? Does your spouse stress you out? Do your children stress you out? Do you stress yourself out with the demands that you put on yourself? Is it a constant stress every single day, all day long, and then it's impacting your sleep? So if you're not sleeping, that's another stress. So what picture I'm painting here is this bear that makes your hormones go through the roof to help you survive. The bear is chasing you every single day. You're never getting away from the bear. You can't sustain that. Literally, you can't keep that going. That will make you sick. That will eliminate hormones. It will make your body work so extra hard every single day that it causes detrimental effects. Okay, so that's what the adrenal gland does for you. It's supposed to help you get through that fight or flight and survive. But the problem is you've got all kinds of stress every single day that are killing you, okay? Because you're never coming back down. So at the end, we need to talk about your job is going to be to figure out what do you need to do to come down from those stressors, okay? You've got to come down. Holly, I see that you've written something. Now let me jump back up to Rhonda. You're right on. Worry is my middle name. Rhonda, we got to change that name. Holly says, my daughter just had a baby 9 days ago. Yay, congratulations, Grandma. She went to dentist and they could feel and even see one lobe of her thyroid is enlarged. Wow, the dentist did that? Can stress contribute to that or just due to pregnancy? Both, Holly. Great question. Can stress give you a goiter cause your thyroid to swell? Absolutely. What does your thyroid do for you? It's your metabolic governor, right? So it says when there's more demand, it has to pick up the pace. It has to make more hormone. Well, when it doesn't have all the ingredients that it needs to make more hormone, it's going to swell because it's going to try to pick up more iodine out of your bloodstream so that it can make more hormone. When you're very stressed, especially when you have Hashimoto's, this is something that I can feel. When I get super stressed, I can feel my thyroid swell. I can feel pressure in my throat. I can just feel that sensation of that changing because I'm very in tune to it. So that's a clue for me that, whoa, I got to do something to make a break in this stress. Now, Holly, pregnancy also very much so changes the demands on that person's body. So during pregnancy, completely different. Now she's delivered the baby, completely different. So both are huge stressful events on the body. So yes, absolutely, that's causing it. What can she do so her thyroid is not so enlarged? Well, she needs to start supporting it with eating well, good nutrition, getting inflammation out of her body, making sure that she's getting enough iodine as well is going to be something really specific. Okay, good question, Holly. Thank you. Adrenal glands. So now you know what they do for you. Specifically, they make cortisol. That's something that we monitor, that we're going to look at a grid for to find out where your cortisol values should be. But I want you to know and understand that sugar plays a huge role in what your adrenal glands are doing and where your cortisol values are. Let's hop over to looking at this grid, and then we'll come back to this list here of these 4 things. So this grid that I'm showing you is an example of what your cortisol values do throughout the day. An adrenal circadian rhythm, right? So we all have circadian rhythms. Our blood pressure goes through a circadian rhythm, meaning it goes up and down at different times of the day. And so even when you're sleeping, your blood pressure will go up and it will go down. It doesn't just stay low when you're sleeping. It goes through a circadian rhythm. We have a sleep pattern and a wake pattern. That's a circadian rhythm, right? Our temperature is different at different times of the day because we go through our normal rhythm. Okay, so cortisol, you tend to make a lot of in the morning. Why would that be? This is our routine. We get up in the morning. Sunshine should be the trigger. We get up. Our body is stimulated to make a little bit of extra cortisol, and then you use it up throughout the day. So let's take a look at that. And now this example is starting at about 6 a.m. So we're going to assume you wake up at 6 a.m. So this can be different depending on your lifestyle. Let's say you're a night shift person. You're not going to look like this because your nighttime is when it's going to go up, because that's when you need to be awake and you need to have energy. So for you poor people who are shift workers who go back and forth between doing days and doing nights for your work, this totally messes you up. Totally messes you up. This is what it's supposed to be like, assuming that you get up and function during the day. So about 6 a.m., this is a cortisol value that would be tested through the blood. Okay, we can test cortisol through blood, through saliva, and through urine. They would be reported in different values depending on how they're tested. But this is an example through the blood. So if you got a snapshot of the blood, it absolutely depends what time of day that blood was drawn to say if your cortisol value is normal or not. So at 6 a.m., you make somewhere around this value of 15 when you first wake up, and then it's going to go up because, okay, I've woken up, my body's made more during the night, now I need a little bit of a burst within those first 2 hours of getting up, and then my body starts to use it. So by noon, you've dropped down to 10. Okay, so we went from 15 up to 20. Now by noon, we're already down to 10. By 4 p.m., we're going down even lower. And then it kind of evens off because you don't want to have a high level of cortisol at the end of the day because it's time to go to sleep. You need to rest, and cortisol is a steroid. It's a stimulant. It gives you energy. So you want it nice and low at the end of the day so that you can fall asleep. Okay, but now I've got 2 other lines here on this graph. This top one in red is way, way, way too high. This is that person who's feeling chased by the bear all the time because they've got so many different stressors all the time. All right. So this person starts high in the morning, they go even higher, and they stay high throughout the day. They're feeling wired, yet they're exhausted and they're tired all the time. Is stress making you sick, that you are completely wiped out tired? Now, even though this cortisol value is high, the person can still have symptoms of feeling completely wiped out because that cortisol is not being made appropriately. It's the body's trying to keep as much of it around as possible because the body is so stressed and it has so much inflammation from that stress. But it's just not, it's, like drinking 2 pots of coffee that you have, I kind of got this energy, but I feel like crap and this sure doesn't feel good and I'm so tired and I just want to go to bed, and you go to bed and you're ding, awake. Can't sleep, can't sleep, can't sleep. It's because your cortisol values are so very high. What's going on with your adrenal gland, right? If you stay up here for a long period of time, what did I tell you? That fight or flight phenomenon takes you up high and you're supposed to come back down. That's the way it's supposed to work. If you are up here all the time, every day of the year, eventually your adrenal glands are going to say, no way, man, I can't do this anymore. I'm pooped out. I just don't have the tools that I need. I can't keep up with these demands. And then you end up down here. So stressed out is the red line. Chronic fatigue, can't get out of bed, can't get moving, got no energy, can't barely even function, not thinking. Is stress making you sick? Yeah, that's what's happening over here. This person has such low levels, they're barely able to make any at all. Wow, that person's wiped. They're cashed. They've got that term called adrenal fatigue. And now, do the adrenals have anything to do with your thyroid? They sure do. Yeah, they absolutely do. And so what do you think the connection is? We've talked about that before. So I want to see your comments. Tell me, how is the adrenal gland affecting the thyroid if all this stuff is going on? So cortisol, I just talked about that, showed you a normal pattern. But you know what else happens? I find people like this. They start out low and then they go high. They're the exact opposite of what they're supposed to be. Can't get up in the morning, can't go to sleep at night. What's going on with them? They're not matching chronic fatigue. They're not totally stressed out, but they're messed up. Their body is flip-flopped, right? And sugar has a huge deal to do with that. When your cortisol values go up, sugar goes up. Okay? Cortisol goes up, now your sugars are up. Okay? And sometimes to get this to come back down, sorry about that, to get this to come back down, we've got to start cutting sugar out of the diet for this to come back down where it's supposed to be and support the adrenal gland to give them more energy, help them to recover, give them a break. We've got to let them rest so that they can recover. Okay? And that's where I come into salt. Salt. Why would I be talking about salt? That seems kind of weird, right? With the adrenal gland, with being stressed. Isn't salt a bad thing? Salt's not bad for you. You need salt. In fact, you need about 5 to 10 grams a day of salt for normal function. So I'm going to give you a little visual of that. This little container is full of sea salt. So Himalayan sea salt or Celtic salt are the salts that are the only 2 salts that I want you to have in your house. Do not carry the normal table salt. Why? It's full of chemicals. It's been completely bleached. It has formaldehyde. And everything good that is in that pink salt or in the Celtic salt, there's tons of minerals in here. Guess what? Your body needs minerals. Your adrenal gland needs those minerals. And your thyroid needs this sodium out of this salt to help use iodine. This salt is going to help your adrenal gland recover. Salt helps your adrenal glands to recover. So you need to start getting it in your diet. Now, if you just shake a little bit on your eggs or put a little bit on your food, you are nowhere near getting this much. I actually, when I have people who have been tested and have very low cortisol values, I'll have them start taking a 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt every single day, just putting it in their water and start to drink it. That's one huge step at starting to get their adrenal glands to recover. And then another major thing is sleep. Now, again, I feel really bad for you people who have to go back and forth between nights and days. I used to do that as a nurse, and I hated that. It's very hard to go back and forth, to be awake during the middle of the night and then, sleep during the day and then flip-flop and do that again. It's super stressful on your body, okay? And you need to understand that. If you can get on a routine shift, that's always going to be better for your body. So if you are feeling really sick, if you've got a lot of bad issues going on and you flip back and forth between that for your work, I'm going to tell you, you got to request to either be on straight nights or to be on straight days or PMs or whatever you need to do, but a straight shift so that you can get routine sleep. Salt is going to help your adrenal glands to heal. Getting sleep. How much sleep do we have? How much sleep do we need to have? I'm starting to wonder if you guys are still paying attention because I haven't seen any comments come through, and maybe it's delayed. Oh, there's some. I just couldn't see them. Sorry about that. Okay, let me just finish this thought and I'm going to go back to that question. So sleep. How many hours of sleep do we need a day? Let me go answer a question here. Brianne, hi Brianne, says, I think my adrenals are about shot. I'm exhausted all day long. I sleep but wake up as if I didn't sleep at all. Any ideas? Well, Brianne, I'm sorry I didn't see your comment, but I think I kind of just explained it. These are some basic things. If you've never had your adrenal gland or your cortisol tested, I'd encourage you to get it tested. Now, these values, again, are for if it's tested in the blood. And typically when you get it tested in the blood, you're getting one value. So if I check it at noon and it looks good, it may not tell me these other things. Through the sputum or through urine, you can actually get these 4 points throughout the day to see what am I doing throughout the day. So that's definitely what I'd encourage for you. And I'd make sure that you're getting enough good salt, that you are trying to get some downtime, some rest. And we actually need to talk about what are you guys going to do about your stressors? Okay, this is so much needed. You have to know what gives your body a break. How can you go from being up here and the bear chasing you to coming down here? If you are at work and you are super stressed out, go lock yourself in a closet. Take 5 minutes to go from here down to here. It will save your body. It will do a tremendous effect in your body. But what is relaxing for you? You have to have a relaxation technique. Is it yoga? Fantastic. Is it prayer? Wonderful. Meditation. Maybe it's walking. Maybe it's running. Maybe it's an energy release, working with somebody to help release bad energy or help you to deal with locked in emotions that can be causing anxiety. High stress, high cortisol can be causing debilitating anxiety and even depression. Okay? Cortisol values down here can feel like depression. And if you talk to your doctor about being depressed, you're going to get on an antidepressant. Is that going to do anything for your adrenal gland? No, it's not. Nothing at all. So think about counseling, talking with somebody to work through emotions from your childhood, from your teen years, from a divorce, from a car accident, whatever it may be that might be haunting you and not letting you deal with the day-to-day stressors that you're having in your life right now is super, super important. Your job is to figure out what is a stress reliever for you, and you have to make an effort to do it. Nobody else can do it for you. If your job is killing you, you need to consider a change. Okay? If home life is killing you, you need to be more proactive, make a change, make something better so you have less stress. Okay? It's really, really important to consider that and make something happen. All right, let's see. Who said anything else? Hi, Kimmy. Can you have constant cortisol levels that affect muscle contractions? That's a good question. When I think about muscle contractions, so I'm not sure if you mean like spasms. When people do talk about restless leg syndrome waking them up, or getting lots of cramps or having spasms in their muscles, I think water first, you're dehydrated. Number one reason. Second thing would be magnesium. Behind that would be other electrolytes, and I would also throw in there for some salt, which give you some minerals. So those are the things that it makes me think of. Should the cortisol directly affect your muscles? Well, no, but if you have you always have a constant cortisol level. So if it's constantly high or constantly low, that affects your body as a whole. So could you be experiencing it in your muscles? Sure. Yeah. Okay, I'm scrolling through. Emily, that's your pattern? That's horrible. I hope that's changed. Hi, Ivory. Hey, Stephanie. Kimmy, hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism if adrenals aren't working properly. Okay, so I was asking that question. Let's go into that just a little bit. The question was, do your adrenal glands affect your thyroid? And absolutely they do. So I know a lot of you follow me because we talk about thyroid stuff all the time. But sometimes you might be told that you don't have a thyroid problem. You know, you're told you're fine, but you still feel awful. It could be an adrenal problem. And also, you could be suffering with an adrenal problem and having all the classic symptoms of a thyroid problem. They always need to be tested together. What's the other major reason they need to be tested together? If you look up the number one medication for thyroid disease, which is Synthroid or levothyroxine, it is contraindicated, means you should not be put on that medication if you have this problem right here. If you have adrenal insufficiency, if the adrenal glands are not able to keep up with the demand for cortisol in your body, if you just go on a thyroid medication, it can throw you into an adrenal crisis. So if you are not on a thyroid medication, or if you were ever put on a thyroid medication, was your adrenal gland tested? It should have been, okay? So that's the big connection, that it can look like a thyroid problem, and maybe you were diagnosed with a thyroid problem, but if your adrenal gland was never checked, I guarantee you your adrenal glands are playing a role in that too. So good job, Kimmy. Good questions. And Emily loves her Celtic salt. Fantastic. Rhonda, hi. That's more me, the reverse cortisol. I take supplements like PS 100 and holy basil at night and adrenal cortex in the AM. Oh, I forgot. I had some little props here. I've got two different kinds of essential oils. Here, this one is a doTERRA product called Past Tense. And the Past Tense is a great thing to use for relaxation. And I'm going to read to you some of them, some of the ingredients that are in here. There's wintergreen, lavender, peppermint, boswellia, I'm not sure what, coriandrum, oreganum, Roman chamomile, and basil, and rosemary. So this I'll use sometimes, like I had a headache earlier today, or I've had some sinus pressure even, and I can rub that across my forehead, or I'll rub it up and down with this little roller ball up and down on my neck. It gets warm, it smells really powerful, it helps to clear up my sinuses, and it helps to relax. Okay, this other one that I have, I can't tell you a brand, this is from a nurse practitioner who does a lot of use of essential oils in her practice. And she calls this one chillax. So you guys, you just all need to chillax. Chill out. We've got to bring down those stress levels. Then this one's just one that you take a whiff of. It has a lavender, geranium, and bergamot in it. It's really kind of nice. I like that a lot. So I wanted to share that with you. Let's see. Anybody else? Amen for minerals, Dr. Stephanie says. Fantastic. Love Himalayan salt. Wonderful. 7 to 9 hours. Great. We got back to that question of sleep. I am actually a 9-hour kind of a girl. I discovered that when I was pregnant with my first child, that, you know what? I do so much better if I can get 9 hours. And there have been many, many times with children that I haven't gotten that, and my body feels the stress of that. So please try to get into a routine of your sleep. Whatever you have to do to wind down at the end of the night is super important. Now, being in front of a computer screen, is that relaxing or is that stimulating for the body? Remember all these blue rays that come off of things like that and the radiation? It's stimulating for your brain. So if you can't fall asleep and you sit on the computer before you try to go to bed, it's your own darn fault. You got to get rid of that habit. Read a book instead. Do something else that's relaxing. Take a bath, for heaven's sakes. Take a bath with some Epsom salt and some lavender in there. And you can, just Calgon, take your worries away, but don't use Calgon. Use the Epsom salt and use some essential oils or put some lavender in there, okay, guys? That'll really help to bring things down. And try to get 7 to 9 hours. When you get into a routine, you're going to start to get that number of hours again, and that's wonderful. All right, 8 hours. That's good too, Jackie. Yep, 8 hours, 8 hours. Fantastic. Carrie, hi. Nice to see you. Melissa, okay, I'm scrolling through looking for, you need a jacuzzi, Jennifer says. Fantastic. Hi, Tony, thanks for joining. B6, Amanda, I'm not sure why you said that. Shayna, you made it, yay! Wonderful. Gracie says she wishes her doctor would listen to her. Well, if your doctor doesn't listen, what should you do? Is that a stressor for you? Find somebody who listens, Gracie. Kimmy takes some Boswellia for pain. Should I not take it during the day? No, Boswellia can be taken during the day. It is great for your adrenal gland, though, as well. And it's a good stress buffer. So it is great for inflammation. How do I get a hold of some of that chillax, Emily? I wish I could tell you. This actually I got at a conference I was at when I was listening to a talk by this nurse practitioner. She was a mental health expert and did, put essential oils into her practice. But let me tell you what the combination of the oils are. And then I think there are lots of ways to make like this little whiffer. I'm sorry, is my friend Tiffany on? She does doTERRA. There's so many different people out there who do some essential oils, but the chillax is lavender, geranium, and bergamot. BERGAMOT, I think. Okay, so Emily, you can combine those, and then you've got your own little chillax. It's nice. Will essential oils be effective for me since I have no sense of smell? Will the effect be lessened? Okay, Jackie asks that. That's a fantastic question, and my answer is just me shooting off my hip of what I believe. If anybody else has more knowledge than me to answer that question, I sure would appreciate it. Now, the sense of smell is, definitely it's a sensory, and we can enjoy that. But a lot of the thing that the oils do, it's the inhaling of it versus you smelling it. Now, definitely the smell can give you that sense of relaxation because we relate smells to certain memories and like the lavender just triggers the thought of relaxation. So I definitely think it is more powerful when you can smell, but then it's just that inhaling it, or even how I was using the past tense, even though I can smell it, it's also the sensation on my skin and or up in on my neck is the other place where I use it. So it's the absorption of it and the oils getting into your bloodstream. So although I do think the sense of smell always heightens what you're experiencing, just because you can't smell doesn't mean it won't work for you. So if anybody else has a better answer than that, please do contribute. Yeah, Tony, wouldn't 8 be nice? You need to start getting it, my friend. Amanda, sorry, B6 for muscle spasms. B vitamins are great all over. Again, muscle spasms, magnesium and water are the top things. And then your other electrolytes and minerals, sodium, potassium, things like that as well. doTERRA balance and serenity equal liquid calm. Thanks, Joanne. So I'm going to read that again in case some of you don't look at the comments, but Joanne commented that doTERRA has 2 other products called balance and serenity, and she puts equals liquid calm. So that's wonderful. Yep, absorbs into the skin and into the bloodstream. Thank you, good information, fantastic. Yes, and you can also diffuse essential oils. Best way for everyone to benefit. Like we've had colds running through the house, so I've got On Guard going in my diffuser along with a little bit of lemon, and that's been fantastic. So I appreciate every one of you being here. I've already gone over 30 minutes and I like to try to keep it down to 30 minutes. Please remember to give lots of likes and to share the videos. I definitely appreciate that. I hope you appreciated the information. I hope I was able to answer your questions. If there's something you want to know more about, because I mean, there's a lot more to talk about with stress. We can talk about all different kinds of things of how it's making you sick. And I just tried to kind of hit that in a general overview kind of a topic, and then hitting on the cortisol values and what they may look like. But again, let me go back here to when your cortisol values go up, your sugar levels go up, that causes a lot of inflammation, right? So you got to work on what you're putting into your body. You got to cut down on that sugar if you're having a cortisol problem. Got to get that balance. You got to support your adrenal glands, getting enough rest, getting good sea salt into your body, getting enough water. All those things are absolutely tips that you can start with that will make a world of a difference for you and how your health is on a day-to-day basis. So thank you so much for joining. If there's something you want me to talk about, you got to let me know. If there's a question that you have and you want to ask, you can always send me a message. If you need to get in touch with me, just send me a message through Facebook. I think that I see them all, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, so thanks for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it, and you guys sleep good.